So the match for the Lynn Colling Memorial Trophy is underway, and it's not a good start for Auckland. Anscombe switching the direction of the kick, putting it out on the full. They'll come back to halfway for a scrum, chance to go down to the sideline and say good evening to Richard Turner.
Good evening, Tony. Well, that might be an indication, firstly, of the most influential atmospheric condition tonight as a wind seems to come and go. And just before Anscombe went to take the kick, it was coming, and then just as he took it, it went. So that'll be a thing to look out for. But you mentioned before the teams ran out, Tony, perfect conditions for midwinter rugby, ideal. Hopefully we avoid the rain, but the ground in good condition, so all signs promising for an exciting spectacle.
So it'll be Sean Romans to feed the first scrum of the game, which has gone down, but he's decided to wave play on the referee. Garrett Williamson. And Otago have it just inside their own half. Kick downfield by Buxton Papuali, and sits up on the left wing side. In fact, that's fullback Hadley Parks, who really has impressed with his strong running and what we've seen of him so far. Firstly in the Manawatu colours, now with Auckland, and Auckland have an early penalty.
Well, Parks got a very kind bounce there and just ran straight hard back, got back to his forward so they could get around him. The tackler not releasing, and that's a mistouch.
Yes, that's two kicking mistakes from Auckland right at the outset of the game, and Glenn Dixon goes looking for a bit of space down Joe Rokothoko's side of the field, gets a high bounce which eludes him. Now he has it back to Parks, and he'll put that out just up towards halfway, in fact right on halfway. So as I say, this match for the Lynn Colling Memorial Trophy, an outstanding halfback who played for both of these provinces, first played for in 2005.
3, 6, 8, 9.
And Otago have never won it.
It's over.
Early ball from the line out, and even Dubert, well, an impressive figure he cut at Carisbrook last week. Tony Brown always prepared to take the line on, although that's a loose ball back that Liam Colton, the hooker, has to tidy up there for Romans. Brown running onto it as he always does. Now Papuali'i looking to offload. Dubert tidies it up.
Hands off!
So first chance really to attack in the game for Otago, and they get a penalty.
Supporting your own body weight.
Daniel Braid, the man penalised, and maybe a chance for a shot at goal. Dixon doing the goal kicking for Otago.
Pretty handy too, Glenn Dixon. 6 from 8 in round 1. I'm sure he'll look for the post. If anything, he might have a slight breeze with him. Daniel Braid penalised there. Referee asked him to hands off was the call, as Otago had numbers here on the left. Papa Ali just couldn't quite free the ball, but there's Braid there, not supporting his own body weight. Not quite anyway, wasn't far away from it.
You did right, Grant. Dixon, the kicker, does have a slight breeze in his favour. We shouldn't have any issues with distance. Dixon, just it's about getting the radar right.
Yeah, this will just come in off the right a little bit. Just aim at the right hand upright and just draw it in nicely.
Well, it's not exactly a long run up to the ball, is it? He's a powerful kicker, Glenn Dixon. Very good last week against Harbour. Can he give Otago the early lead? He struck that pretty well, and it's over. Nice kick. Nice start to the game for Glenn Dixon, and Otago lead it by 3-0.
How about aiming towards the left upright and doing it the other way? Well done, Glenn Dixon. That's a fine kick, and Otago have started very confidently in this match. Very efficient. They're looking for field position, and they'll just try and force Auckland into errors and take points when they're on offer.
Well, Anscombe's going to have another crack kicking out towards the near side of the field. This time he's kept it well in play. Daniel Ramsey, who's played for Southland in the past, he takes it in. Romans with the high kick, and Chris Lowry underneath it on his own 10-metre mark. Off to Parks, and he's going to take them on again. Coltman just managed to get enough of him to hold his progress, but now they get it away. Anscombe sweeping pass away to Teddy Stanaway. First touch for him in an Auckland jersey for a couple of seasons. Now off to Josh Townsend.
No one!
The new lock forward in the Auckland side, former Otago man. Auckland with possession now. Swept away there by Toby Moreland to Winston Stanley. And he's taken on halfway. Might have lost possession here, but
blue on the side.
Otago penalised. Player coming in the side. They've got a man down injured on the far side as well. And straight away, Gareth Anscombe thinks about a shot at goal. And this doesn't look too good. I think there's one of the locks. Might be Ramsey, is it? Or is it Regan Tamahiri, Richard, I think?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the subs bench actually, Tony, to get an indication. Because it's certainly not a lock that's got up, warming up. Ioane's the man warming up.
It is Tamahiri, I think. In the meantime, Anscombe's gone down the touchline, so just a bit far out into the breeze.
On the line, please.
Yeah, Tamahiri's going to try and walk it out. They're going to stop the game for him, though. Just
might get a look at it here.
I think he's leaving the field.
Yeah, he is. They've certainly got the signal to the sideline.
Let's have a look what happens here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's going to hurt.
Yeah. Just stretch that how it's not meant to be stretched.
Yeah, well, if you're a gymnast, that'd just be part of your daily routine, but not when you're a footy player. And this, in his blazer match for Otago, looks like he might have to call it quits.
Yeah, he's walking to the touchline, isn't he?
Well, his replacement's on, so I'm not sure if he's that keen to leave, but he might not have a lot of joy. Well, yeah, when the arm goes over, that's a pretty short giveaway. You're not going to go. So it looks like that knee just hyperextended, the weight of Anscombe coming over the top of it.
A bit of a setback for Otago early on, and Auckland opting to go for touch. And it's been lost forward by Auckland, so Otago get it back. TJ Ioane, originally from Wellington, wearing jersey number 19. Tony Brown boots it away downfield. Rokotoko waits, and off he goes. Joe Rokotoko sets off up towards halfway, crashing into the first line of defence. And there it is for Anscombe now. Townsend setting it just short of the 10-metre mark. Chance to get some width on it. Parks up from fullback, floats the ball wide to Winston Stanley.
No, 19! Playing advantage.
And Otago hands him there. He called
blue on the side.
And it was TJ Ioane. In fact, he's come in the side. There's the offence, according to referee Garrett Williamson. I'm pretty sure that this time Anscombe will have a shot.
Yeah, a ruck had also been formed. Otago did well there on defence because Auckland had numbers, and I don't think the cutout pass was needed really. On the hands might have been a little bit better. It allowed the Otago defence to drift. Let's watch it here. It's the cutout pass here. Parks needed to keep running at the line and try and draw Artinga, and then almost create a 3-on-1. And so the Otago defence covered Winston Stanley very, very well. You see the ruck has already formed there. Can't put your hands on the ball.
Yes, two offences there,
yeah,
really.
That's
two
right. I was
and
just
one.
about to say that. Garrett Williamson had two options to ping him then. One from this incorrect entry and also the hands on the ball, as Grant mentioned.
Just one shot at goal, though.
Worth 6 points, but...
So wide out, just 5 metres in from the left wing touch for Anscombe. Kicked very well on Sunday, but that's a miss. 100% accurate off the tee at the weekend. 18 points against Canterbury. That's a testing kick, and he hasn't quite managed to get it online. Brown banging it away down towards the 22 of Auckland. Parks
10 metres.
puts it high, tears off after it. Papuali'i coming forward, taking it nicely too. The New Zealand 7-star. But you can see Auckland getting numbers there and driving over the top. So turnover possession, and again it's flung wide. Dixon moving it on. Stanaway onto Willie Wangasaduadua, fighting his way out of the fence. And there for Moreland, can't clear it properly. Now Rokotoko has to try and get rid of it. Moreland tries to make amends by helping him out, and it is there for Auckland. Although Wangasaduadua now has been tipped up and shoved over the touchline by the young number 8 Gareth Evans.
There's some pretty messy stuff at the base of the ruck by Auckland. A couple of players had a go at clearing the ball and neither did it very well.
Hold the space here, please.
That's the hamstring the ice is on, though, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's the talk from the bench that he's just stretched that hamstring when he was doing his version of the splits.
Otago have it through Ramsey. High ball from Romans, taken nicely by Wakasadua. The clever player, former North Harbour man, had a great day when they took the Ranfurly Shield off Canterbury a few years ago. Here's Tony Brown. And that one floating towards touch. Oh, it's not a bad kick, slightly misjudged. I think Moreland thought he was going to be able to force it out on the full, but he was deceived in the end, and that's a great gain from Tony Brown.
Brilliant kick by Tony Brown, but not well judged by Moreland. I think he was waiting for it to pitch straight and go into the in-goal area. When he still had a chance to catch that ball. Let's misjudge it. Great kick, Tony Brown. So Otago looking for field position. You've got to say that game plan's working well for him at the moment.
Ash Dixon has the throw. And Lowry feeds it back to Moreland, kicks low. And he gets a very good result there. Has that been? Yes, it has. Been carried over the touchline by Joe Hill. Low, flat kick from Moreland. And
I don't think
right effect at the end.
Yeah, I don't think the low kick was the intentional one, but it's a good outcome at the end.
Moreland picks it up low. Wakasadua taking it behind the advantage line, but showing his elusive qualities. Got past the first tackle, that of Alika. Now Dixon. Moreland now having a little snipe. Put on the ground by Ramsey. 10-metre mark. Polwood now. Dixon again heavily involved with ball in hand early on. Moreland in quickly for the switch away to Anscombe, straightening nicely. Now turns it back to Braid. Auckland starting to build now. Off it goes to Rokathoko. Little show of the ball and then on with the Jets. Joe Rokathoko. And that's a try. And it's a beauty for Joe Rokathoko.
Well, some good breakdown work by Auckland. They got the go forward, and then it was Anscombe who made the incision. Offloaded to Braden support on the inside. And they just kept the attack going the same way. Rokathoko had come across from the blindside wing. Here it is Anscombe straightening, going through. Braden support. This is the go forward. The Otago defences going backwards, struggling to reset. Rokathoko off his wing. Too much speed for Donnelly. A missed tackle here by Dixon it was. Over for Joe.
Oh, big mismatch too at the end there, wasn't it? Joe saw it nicely in the form of Donnelly and Case Muse. Very impressive build-up too. Auckland, Grant, have impressed me at the breakdown. They've been committed both with ball in hand and also defensively.
Nice work too from Anscombe. Saw little massive bodies and threaded his way through the first line of defence. That really set things in motion. Now the attempted conversion is good and Auckland have the lead by 7-3.
Well, that's pretty much going with territory, 68% to Auckland and almost 60% possession. So Auckland have had the better of possession and territory, and they're showing it on the scoreboard at the moment.
Tony Brown with the restart, nice and high for his forwards to get after, and Tom Donnelly's got it too. Auckland deceived by the flight of the ball, left hanging, and so Otago get a chance to hit back. Ioane feeds it back now. Case Muse pops it back to Romans, to Brown, steps away from the first line of oncoming defence. Rolled the wrong way, but he's managed to get it back. Romans to Hubert. Nice hands in field to Liam Coltman, the hooker. Well, both teams recycling the ball nicely here. Good quick ruck ball. All is well for the match. Romans, nice bullet pass away to Tony Brown. Little show of the ball before he's put on the deck by Lowry. Now Ioane, looks like he might have a little pick and go here. No. Leaves it for Romans. Muse wants it, doesn't he? Claps his hands, gets the ball. Now Ramsey. Braid going and trying to affect the turnover, but it's there again for the Otago halfback. This time it's Evans. Otago patient. Now they get a chance to go wide, and here is Papuali. He is very, very quick and elusive. So Otago closing in on the line now. Brown with the infield pass to Coltman. And you can see there Chris Lowry falling over the ball. Gets a bit of the old-fashioned stuff from Case Muse. And it's a penalty right out in front.
Yeah, might be a bit lucky it's not more too, Chris Lowry. It was a bit cynical, wasn't it?
He definitely flopped right over, didn't he?
He did. He was 7 perhaps coming, or certainly 5 coming up on the left for Otago. It was Papa Ali injecting himself and getting outside. Winston Stanley was where the incision was made on the other side of the field and got him in behind.
Oh, here he is.
Defence.
Buxton Papu Ali, star of the New Zealand Sevens team. He's just got that ability to dart. Very quick on his feet.
And here it is from Lowry.
Well, Lowry knew exactly what he was doing there.
Didn't he? He did,
because he knew that if they'd recycled that quickly, there was a lot of pressure on the retiring Auckland defence, and he did right. He was probably lucky not to get more.
Well, we might have a few souvenirs from that little moment anyway, courtesy of Case Muse. It's an easy penalty right out in front for Dixon, and so just 1 point in it. Once again, it's hardly a surprise. 3 times in a row they've done it. And Papuali gets away from Rokethoko. Again, Quicksilver, this fellow. Really good buy for Otago. And now here's another one. Gareth Evans boots it away downfield. Parks going back. And not a bad strike, although that's not going to go out. Papuali back in field. It goes to Tony Brown. They swing it across field. Dixon up from fullback. And now Joe Hill with a chance to have a run. Fires it back in field on the tackle of Townsend. Otago swinging the ball from side to side. TJ Ioane just losing his footing.
Step two, step.
Romans digs it out, and Buxton tries the grubber kick through. Not particularly effective, but he's misread that. Has Anscombe. Wangasa Dua there. And floats that one into touch. Got to like the way both of the teams are getting quick ball at ruck time though, Grant.
Yeah, I agree, Tony. There's some good go forward. There's some good low body positions on arrival at the breakdown, clearing bodies.
Walk in, please.
Good quick ball for both backlines to use.
So Liam Coltman with the throw. Just on the Auckland side of halfway.
That's over.
Not taken cleanly though by Ramsey, and so Auckland get bonus possession here, and Sean Polwitt takes it over halfway.
Advantage over.
Anscombe now on to Stanley. Parks up from fullback, but met in the tackle by Ben Artinga.
19 last week.
Anscombe this time looks for Dixon. Again running out in midfield. Otago trying to drive through, and have done so legally, or no, not. Looked for a moment like they were going to get away with it, but it's a penalty.
Offside. Offside.
So
You secondly.
here's the penalty count. Auckland 2 conceded, Otago 4. And just look at the breakdown here. I think that one was probably all right. Well, Richard, I don't see anything wrong with either of those.
Well, I think Coltman might have been the culprit.
The first one, you reckon?
He was coming back. The second one, he was coming back and never got right back behind that last foot. Garrett Williamson in a good spot to judge on it. And just some concerns in back play with Aulika from the resulting melee there. And I think it's just a
Let's get him off and get that
blood nose. Yep. So we head to the blood bin.
He looks a bit dazed, doesn't he? Of course, both teams with 2 replacement props. They've got James McGugan at their disposal and Scott Manson.
And it'll be McGugan that will replace Aulika, but he's going to have to come from the far end of the field because the Otago reserves had all got up from the bench and headed over to warm up. Here he comes, just trotting into play.
Yeah.
We'll be back into action soon.
Time on.
So James McGugan eventually arrives. You can see him coming to the front of the line out there. Man, originally from Whakatane, played for Bay of Plenty, now
White in.
down on Otago. He actually spent a season or two in Auckland too early on in his career. Auckland have it from the line out. Nice ball out to Anscombe to Stanley. Setting it up on the 22. Moreland away again it goes, and this is Angus Ta'aval, the big tight head prop. Now Parks losing his footing as he came up from fullback, just losing some momentum there just as it was looking promising, but they've still got possession. Richard Haddon. Now Mile out, Tavita Mile out. Polwood on the short side, so Auckland just trying to open up a big open side here. They've got forwards bunched away to the left, but they look to move it. Ta'aval. Now Anscombe flings it wide, another wide pass. Out it goes to Lowry, stationed out on the wing beyond Wagasaduadua, who now comes in and picks it up to Anscombe, so continuity here from Auckland. Stanley trying to get through. There was a few cries from the crowd of a high tackle, but the referee happy with that. Ball lost forward, and Parks having to go back. Oh, that's awkward. I think he might have touched that too. If he has, it's going to be a throw for Otago.
I'm not sure the touch judge is close enough to rule on it.
No, he hasn't. He's decided that he didn't get a finger to it.
Well, he mightn't have been able to judge TJ. He was a long way back.
Yeah, give him the benefit of the doubt, and I think just looking at the replay, I think the right decision's been made. It was awkward because he doesn't look a natural fullback. Parks, very good prospect as a centre, that's for sure. Lob down towards, nicely collected, in fact, by Lowry in the end. Daniel Braid.
19!
Now Anscombe, as Tony Brown comes at him trying to effect the charge down. Floated down to Popoali. He decides to try to kick. Dixon giving chase. Parks coming forward, takes it nicely. Can't get past Dixon though.
He let it go, play on. 19!
Anscombe tucks the ball under his arm and immediately gets wrapped up by Daniel Ramsey. Still there for Auckland. They've lost a bit of ground, which Haddon tries to regain. Now away to Dixon. In fact, Teddy Stanaway it was that time coming in close. Stanley, Parks, and neatly bisecting his two teammates and throwing it into touch.
Forward as well.
And forward. Other than that, it was perfect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, target defence, one thing they've always been good at is drifting. Very hard to commit them. To get in behind them, you've got to breach them on the inside before you can go wide. Auckland didn't have enough go forward, so Otago just bided their time, quietly shepherded Auckland towards the touchline, waited for a mistake.
Not too many opportunities coming, plenty of endeavour, plenty of desire from the two teams to try and penetrate each other's defence. But just the one try in the match so far, scored by Joe Rokotoko for Auckland.
So Joe Hill is parked right on the inside shoulder of Tony Brown, so
went too early.
It won't matter now that he was there anyway. He won't be used.
Lowry takes it quickly.
19!
And there it is for Toby Moreland. Dixon doing a lot of ball carrying, one off the ruck. And Moreland gets it away to Lowry. And nice nifty offload there to Richard Haddon. Now Stanley punching onto it. Winston Stanley to the 22. So Auckland back on the front foot. Anscombe having a little dart. Off it goes to Braid. Now Parks up in the line. Back inside the Otago 22 come Auckland. Stanley turning it back. Lowry straightening. Good charge into the tackle there of Liam Coltman.
Backwards.
Scrambled away by Moreland. Rokotoko again gets a second. Well, they're having trouble stopping this fellow tonight. Everyone else they're managing to tackle, but not Joe Rokotoko.
Well, it's the speed of the recycle that's been the key here for Auckland. Went through a number of phases. They rolled the ball in behind a couple of forward runners. And Lowry was on the cutback, who took a lot of players with him. This is just an early part. There's Lowry initially, carried on by Richard Haddon, Stanley. Rokotoko, second time in the match at first receiver on the left-hand side. This time he picked out Case Muse. Got outside him. Joe Hill was had to turn in. Too easy for Joe.
He's done it nicely, but you did right, Grant. Again, an impressive part of Auckland's game tonight is their ability at the breakdown, quick recycling of the ball. And then Joe Rokotoko on fire, but spotting the mismatch as well, Joe, and making Otago pay dearly.
Similar place on the field too for Gareth Anscombe. And no, not happy with that one at all. 12-6.
Oh, that wind's pushing over his left shoulder, so it's pushing the ball to the right.
And bringing a bit of drizzly rain with it too, by the look.
Yep, just started, Tony, so that's obviously going to have an impact. And you just saw a brief glimpse there of Halani Aulika re-entering play. He's all patched up. And McGugan heads back to the bench.
Brown judging this one beautifully. And not brought under control yet by Auckland. Lowry still hasn't got it, and I think he's knocked that on the Otago skipper, which will please Toby Moreland.
Well, they're great kickoffs, aren't they, by Tony Brown? Just have another wee look at the try here. You'll see outside Muse, inside shoulder, when you got to turn back, is always weak on defence, and Joe Rokotoko knew that.
Now popping up both sides of the field, Joe Rokotoko.
What is this about scrum number 2 in the match, is it?
Yeah. One each. In fact, this is the
third scrum. Well, 25 minutes in.
Well, it just shows that they have not been making too many mistakes. Otago with a good shove at scrum time and a penalty. That's great pressure.
Well, that's the result of a fantastic hit. Got it, the timing all right, anticipated the call from referee Garrett, got momentum, and Auckland tried to bail out because they knew they were quite literally on the back foot, and they're being pinged forward. Have a look at this. There's the hit and momentum straight away. Big shove from behind, and Auckland in all sorts of trouble.
Well, Angus Taravao, Richard, was never in a position of strength, was he? Dropped to his knees straight away. You see Case Muse, he'll say that's 3 for the front row, boys. He's walking back to halfway already.
You know, they got that right. They've been free kicked the previous one, but that time they were spot on. And so Glenn Dixon, 2 from 2 so far, looking to keep Otago in touch. And 3 out of 3 for Glenn Dixon. And it's 12-9, Auckland leading.
Richard, that wind is from where? The sort of northeast, isn't it? Which brings rain.
Yeah, it does, and it keeps, as is typical in stadiums, Grant, it swirls around a bit, but certainly blowing in favour of Otago. But it seems to, at the moment, be blowing into this bottom left-hand corner, which is unusual.
Change this time from Gareth Anscombe, and well, TJ Ioane dropping it, and so Otago, having just scored, now giving up valuable field position.
That's just a skill execution error. Didn't get his hands up high enough around his eye level or higher. The ball goes straight through the breadbasket.
I think Anscombe had been trying sort of unsuccessfully to deceive them with the late switch of kick. That time he just went for the straightforward kick and they dropped it. And looks like Tavita Umailau might need a bit of attention.
This might be a little bit tactical too for the scrum to have a chance to talk about sorting it out.
Now this is part of a tough first week for Auckland. 3 games in 7 days. They started off Canterbury on Sunday, Otago tonight, and then Wellington on Saturday. Hence a lot of changes. Mark Anscombe saying, well, we've got a big squad, we're going to use them. Otago bit more of a gap for them, but it's going to be difficult for all the teams. They're all going to have to back up in this compressed program in World Cup year.
So Rokotoko is just on the outside shoulder of Gareth Anscombe. The rest of the back line in pretty standard formation.
Engage!
Well, he's getting a real hard time there as Angus Taoval from Halani Alika once again losing his footing.
Richard, I'm not a scrum technician at all, but I would suggest his feet are too far back. So he's got no weight over his feet at all. They're well behind him, and he's just, when the pressure comes on, he's going straight to the ground.
Yeah, that's right. The pressure is past that pendulum. The middle, we'll get a good look at it here.
See where his feet are.
Yeah, and then the pressure comes on, and not a lot of margin for error at all. Well, he's certainly not a position of strength at either.
He's effectively trying to dig in what his front two sprigs and nothing else, really, isn't he?
Well, and he's not even getting those on the ground, is he?
So Coltman with the throw, picked off at the front of the line out by Gareth Evans. Brown quite close, hangs it high, clattered to the ground as he gets the kick away. Rokotoko takes it nicely, calls for the mark.
10 metres. Yeah, right there.
And Rokotoko, well, he's got this in behind Buxton Papuali, and that's a great result. Well, he's having a blinder tonight, Joe Rokotoko. And I wonder whether this time the flag might stay up.
No,
in the direction, I'm pretty sure that... No,
I don't think he did touch it.
Well, I'll get it right eventually. One of these days, one of them is going to touch it before it goes out.
He got a bit of purchase on it, did Rokotoko, and then he got a very kind bounce.
It is an Otago throw. Papuali didn't touch it.
Stay in 7-7.
Ramsey taking it down to the back. Just getting a little disjointed, the Otago forwards in that line-out, but they've got it now. And back to Brown for the clearing kick, as he has done so many times over his career. Tony Brown, 36 years of age now. Played 18 tests for New Zealand. He's scored about 2,000 first-class points. A couple of hundred games at first-class level. He has been around, hasn't he, Tony Brown? And the likes of he and Case Muse give a wonderful experienced touch to this Otago side. And they've nipped this one here. Some good work at the front of the line out again by Gareth Evans. So they pinch one off the Auckland throw, and Tony Brown gets a chance to kick this downfield. And Rokotoko, well, he's made a great effort to keep that in play. If he'd forced it out, it would have been a line out right down the other end of the field because it was carried back.
Don't move towards it.
And now they've kicked it down to Dixon. Tony Brown bringing it forward. And he stabs it away to touch, I'm sure. I did hear Garrett Williamson say carried back.
He did say it, and unfortunately Rokotoko didn't have an awareness about him to straddle the touchline and catch the ball, because that's what he could have done. Would have been a line out all the way back 10 yards inside the Otago 22.
Don't get me wrong, he did beautifully to keep it in play.
But it's an awareness, Tony.
Auckland have taken it quickly. Lowry has it. Bray just had to wait for it a little bit so that no real momentum as Polwood takes it to ground. Off it goes to Anscombe, chips it into space, but Romans has read that pretty well and takes it at the second go. And it's there for Otago. Tinga goes into play halfback, stabbed through by Brown, and coming after this at a great rate of knots was Papuali.
Gee, his acceleration is impressive, Tony, isn't it? Papuali.
Oh, great, very quick off the mark, and they have got the line-out throw. It was touched by Auckland, and so Otago get the throw on the 22.
He's he'd be pretty fit too, isn't he, Papuali? Sort of Hitchens racing.
Yeah. Being coached by Gordon Hitchens for any length of time, you're going to be fit, all right.
Exactly.
Just some attention to Case Muse's brought play to a halt for now.
The old fella needs a bit of a break, eh, Richard?
Yeah.
Game's a bit quick.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't realise.
No, he said he's running some really good lines. Case Muse just Right up and down the middle of the park.
Yeah, exactly.
The theory being that if you just stay on that line, eventually play's got to come back to you sooner or later.
Yeah. It's called efficiency, Tony. Very efficient.
Well, talking to him about it though, that he said when you've got a tight program like this, that's what it's all about. It's about getting organised, getting in the pattern, just focusing on the next task. And obviously his presence in that front row is a major plus for Otago. Lob down towards the back, overthrown that time though, and Moreland swoops on it, so Auckland get one back off the Otago throw, and here's Teddy Stanaway having a run and through in the hole. Beautiful attempt to offload. Daniel Braid runs onto it. Wasn't intended for him, but he's got it and he's carried it all the way to the 22. Moreland quickly away to Anscombe now. Haddon bringing it forward. So Auckland almost up to the Otago 22 now. Anscombe, off it goes now. Hadley Parks up in the line, and a bit of speed from Tavita Mailau before the pass is not pulled in by Josh Townsend. It was an awkward one, and it's a knock-on, and so a very good counter-punch comes to an end for Auckland.
Yeah, props have just got to give it and back up. Don't need to run players in.
Closer.
It's a good break by Stanaway down the left-hand side, and if you found someone with more speed, maybe a try would have been scored. Just an overthrow there. Otago, just Stanaway here getting outside Artinga. It was Anscombe. If we're going to Anscombe, who's quick, who knows what would have come of that.
Still very good play there by Daniel Braid to be that close to the action.
Pause. Engage. Easy.
Well, that was better from Auckland.
Yeah, just about to say that, Tony. Much better engagement from the Auckland pack on that occasion.
There's no reason we can't put the ball in as soon as the shoulders.
Taking these stoppages in play, really having an assessment about what they're doing, in that, particularly in that Auckland front row.
And our Leaker there, I think, tried to hide his nose from Garrett Williamson. Otherwise, he's going to be back on the sideline again, getting it fixed.
Box, please. Crouch.
So creeping up towards half-time here at Eden Park. Auckland with 2 tries. Engage. Some good kicking from Glenn Dixon, keeping Otago within range. Brown kicks down to Rokothoka, and spectacular, and he managed to hang on to it somehow and breaks out of the first tackle. He did everything he could to drop that ball, and he still managed to hang on. Anscombe now with the wide pass to Parks. Now Wagasadua to a straightening. Taken though by Sam Giddens.
He was the tackler.
And now bustling it on is Hadley Parks getting in amongst the forwards. And a penalty. And it's against Case Muse for not rolling away.
Make an earlier effort to roll away. Don't lay there and then say you can't.
Who, me, sir? Couldn't be. We're just having a bit of a rest. Talk about this competition at times being for developing young talent. Well, it's not bad for old guys who maybe might not be at the next level anymore. But boy, their experience to help the young guys at this level is invaluable.
Well, I remember Matthew Cooper talking about it, saying playing club rugby in the Hawke's Bay when he was a young fellow, and the value he got sitting next to Mark Shaw in the training, the changing room. And it's a bit like this in the ITM Cup now. You think about what the young players in this Otago team are going to learn from the likes of Muse, Brown, Tom Donnelly, and it's in the same thing in a number of teams. You've got Reuben Thorne turning out for Canterbury, and how great is that? So Anscombe, can he get this one on target? He can.
Yeah, telltale sign. Had a wee look, he wasn't quite sure, and he bent down and picked the tee up about 10 yards before the ball crossed the crossbar.
Just his second successful kick of the night, but it's got Auckland out to 15-9 with just 3 or 4 minutes to play in the first half here at Eden Park. Again, Tony Brown getting it nice and high, but this time it's well read. Josh Townsend, the man, went up and made a few good metres as well. Moreland with the kick. Oh, beautifully taken again by Popoali. Not just a good attacking player. Although Auckland have driven maybe a chance to turn this over.
Down, unplayable.
Oh, they get the scrum feed anyway.
Moving forward.
Nice take by Buxton Popoali.
Well, it started with Auckland claiming the kick-off for a start. That's the first one I think they've got right. And it was a good kick there by Toby Moreland. Good chase by Rokafoko. And a good sort of counter-ruck by the Auckland forwards. And they've got to put him to the scrum. You see Rokafoko there, tucked in by Anscombe. So this critical period just before half-time, Auckland have already gathered 3 points. They'll be keen for more.
And he's already got 2 tries in this game. Joe Rokafoko. Maybe a chance for another one.
The blindside's open now. Way open.
Stay bound.
Well, they go open to Anscombe and Stanley.
9!
Now the switch. In fact, Moreland decides to have a little go around the fringe and penalised.
Holding on.
It's actually not a strong part of Moreland's game. He's just not robust enough to be running around those inside channels. He's really just a distributor and an organiser is the strength of his game.
Well, he's always had a very good reputation for his clearance, Toby Moreland, and a good support runner too. One of those guys who get there to back up and maybe take the final pass, but that time he went for a little snipe and he got a bit isolated. And
well, he's valuable on his feet, Tony. Rather, so you go down those channels, you're going to get knocked off your feet.
Playing on.
Well, Auckland have knocked this one down, and so they get one back off the throw. And Moreland quickly away to Anscombe. Sean Polwitt now struggling up towards halfway. And there it is, Toby Moreland, Stanaway. Looks pretty sharp, doesn't he? And puts Chris Lowry into a bit of space too. Good strong run from Lowry, and then he loses it.
Playing advantage, knock on Whites.
Otago might get a chance from turnover possession here. Romans eludes a couple and just caught from behind by Tavita Mailau as it looked as though he was going to get away. Tony Brown has to go in and play halfback.
Advantage over.
And Atinga Dixon up from fullback. Maybe a chance to put Joe Hill away. Hill comes in field looking for it. Stepping nicely to Joe Hill. Wheeling away and gets it away to his skipper. That's great support play. Otago now through Gareth Evans. This is a good advance. Alika flings the pass away to Tony Brown. And another one too out into midfield, but they got into a tangle. Coltman just getting a little bit in the way there. And it's a turnover, and Auckland have it. Stanley had to juggle it. Boots it away, and Dixon not really troubled to go back. And floats that out into touch. Stanley, option of a quick throw, decides not to.
I saw a bounce pass coming there Otago's way, and those bounce passes can lead to all sorts of trouble for the defence, but it was knocked on by Popoali. Auckland, well, they nearly coughed up after Lowry having a good run, coughing possession up. They nearly coughed up a try, did Auckland.
Yeah, if you'd been able to get it, it could have been interesting, but just got into a bit of a tangle. Now Auckland have it. Lowry doing some really good work at line-out time. So time almost up. In fact, there is the hooter for half-time as Moreland puts it high. Popoali coming forward. He's dropped this one, although I don't think it went forward. No, referee says it did. That is half-time at Eden Park. So Auckland have scored 2 tries.